we were a very unique business where we were able to get a lot of relationships with different professional athletes, and we were able to bring these different athletes to the store so our customers could actually meet them and get photos with or get their autographs.
Meet Scott Mahlum, the owner of Mill Creek Sports. Scott's journey from opening a small 1,200 square foot store in 1991 to running a 15,000 square foot global business is nothing short of inspiring.
Unfortunately, with the level of money the current athlete makes now, it's tougher and tougher to get them to do that. But you know, like with last week with Willie Mays passing, and we had Willie Mays at our store in 1999.
Oh, wow.
So here's Willie Mays, one of the top 5 baseball players of all time, is in Mill Creek, Washington in a 1,200 square foot sports store.
Not only has he built a successful business, but he has also made significant contributions to the community through his involvement in local events, youth sports, and charitable initiatives. Scott's passion for sports memorabilia and dedication to his hometown have cemented his place as a true Mill Creek icon.
Well, hello again, beautiful people, and welcome to the Mill Creek Life Today podcast. I'm Greg Elwin, the Mill Creek guy. I'm your host. Our podcast, again, is sponsored by somebody I know really well, Greg Elwin Real Estate. Plug for them. And once again, we're here at the Mill Creek Life Today studio inside of Tapped Mill Creek out at the farm. And there is always something good on the menu. I just tried a salad with strawberries and nuts and balsamic and chicken. Oh my gosh, it was out of this world. So you get a chance, get in here. This is the place to eat, drink, and gather, they say, and get tapped in Mill Creek. So thanks to our hosts. Once again, we're produced by I Am Third Media. Shout out to Jay behind the controls right now. So thanks for making this all happen. Again, are available if you want to watch this, the insanity that goes on here. You can watch it on YouTube at the Mill Creek Today channel, or you can listen at Spotify, Amazon, or iTunes. And so do that. Past episodes, this one, what's coming up, and like, subscribe, and share. Let's get the word out because we want to talk about everything that's cool in Mill Creek. And I can't tell you how excited I am right now to introduce my next guest, because literally, and I'm not kidding, this guy is Mill Creek nobility. I mean, there's like a Mount Rushmore of Mill Creek nobility, and Scott Mahlum is definitely on that. Scott, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me, buddy.
I appreciate you being here.
That's nice of you to say.
Well, I mean, it's true, right? We talk about people who've been so involved in the community for so many years, personally and professionally. I mean, your business is named Mill Creek Sports, right?
It is.
And you came here, you started something in a strip mall, and you built it to literally a worldwide business, and all while living and playing here in Mill Creek.
Yes, yeah, it was. It's quite the difference now than when we opened in 1991. Straight out of college, it was a 1,200 square foot store next to, at the time, I believe it was Olson's Foods. It wasn't even QFC yet.
Okay.
And shopped around, me and my wife. We, planned on having a family, and the decision was, where do we want to open a business? And we were originally from Everett, so we know the area really well. Love the school systems in Mill Creek, and wanted to raise a family in Mill Creek. So that's why we picked that location. Business-wise, maybe we should have went to a bigger city like Seattle or Kirkland or even Bellevue, but for us it was about where I didn't want to commute. Mm-hmm. So I've been spoiled. 30 plus years of 5-minute commutes. So that's why we chose Mill Creek. And parents weren't real happy. I'd open up a sports memorabilia store as a living after I just graduated from the University of Washington in accounting and finance, and they kind of wanted me to, become either an accountant or a financial trader, but that just wasn't for me. I kind of want to do my own thing.
Got to go with where your passion is.
And I did, and I've been very fortunate. Best job in the world.
Heck yeah.
It turned my hobby into a living, and
it's incredible.
Love it. Yeah.
We should all be able to live, a life like that. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a pretty good feeling then,
you wake up in the morning and you don't hate that you're going to work,
right?
And you actually enjoy it. And you know, the people that work for me, my son and my best friends, and people. I think I've known out of the 11 people that work for us, I've known 9 of them for 15 to 35 years.
That's
so
cool.
Trust is a big thing
Yep.
with owning the business we own, and I've got a great group of guys.
Yeah, it's a big family.
It is. It is.
You know, for context, I don't know if you folks out there know this, but Mill Creek was incorporated in 1983, right? And you opened your business in 1991. So I'm not great at math, but that's only a few years later.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, really, you've been here since the beginning.
Yes. Yes.
And you've seen a whole bunch of things happen around here.
Yeah, good, bad, and ugly. It's, but yeah, it keeps evolving, and you know, we still love living here. The community and the events how it's grown with, like, the summer concerts are fantastic at the town center. We have a great time. Me and my wife, we live in Rivers Crossing now, so on Wednesdays we walk down to the town center, have some dinner, grab some drinks, and enjoy great music with friends.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
We talk so much on this show about just that whole community thing, right?
Yes.
And that's what it's all about. It's what drew you when you first moved to town, and has kept you, and not. A lot of times people get disenfranchised or disenchanted, and like, I need to go move somewhere else, but there's just so much cool here. It just keeps people here.
Oh, it does. And it's something that we're a very unique business where we did a lot of relationships with different professional athletes, and we were able to bring these different athletes to the store so our customers could actually meet them and get photos with or get their autographs. And unfortunately, with the level of money the current athlete makes now, it's tougher and tougher to get them to do that. But you know, like with last week with Willie Mays passing, and we had Willie Mays at our store in 1999.
Oh, wow.
So here's Willie Mays, one of the top 5 baseball players of all time, is in Mill Creek, Washington, in a 1,200 square foot sports store.
Wow.
Very lucky, very fortunate, and we really built that, and got great response from our customer base, and people loved it.
I came and saw Marshawn Lynch when he was there a few years ago, and that was a heck of a lot of fun.
So you heard the disclaimer in line that he may swear, his music may be raunchy. We had to go through and we tell everybody that. That's just how the guy is.
Yeah.
But people love him, and had a good time. Every time we bring him, it does great.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can drive by. I know when it's coming, right? Because all the employees are parked in the vacant lot next door.
100%.
Okay. All right. Somebody's coming to town today. Well, so you mentioned, I want to talk a little bit about some of the athletes and things, but something you said is you started with a 1,200 foot store next to what is now QFC.
Yes.
And then at some point you moved to a different location.
Yes, we outgrew that spot, so we doubled up and we moved over by Azteca to 2,400 square feet. And the reason we picked that spot is behind that strip mall, there's the office buildings with warehouse, a little bit of warehouse. So we had 2 warehouses behind that also. So it was a little bit shorter versus prior to that, we were 15, 18 storage units here, and it was just wasting man hours. So, and that's what finally led to us, after 5-6 years by Azteca, I kept seeing the piece of property available on Dumas and Bach Leverett Highway, just vacant lot, and looked into buying it. We worked out a deal, and took it to the city, and it looked a little dicey for a while. This about 10 years ago. So we've been open here at the current location for 7 years. A lot of wetlands and different things, but we were able to just get enough to where we could put the 15,000 square foot building and where we're at now. So we have another 2.5 acres there that just nothing we can do with it. It's wetlands, and kind of waiting on the city to kind of develop the old church next door to us. we're really interested in that. We're hoping something will happen sooner than later. It seems like it's taking forever to even figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah, it is. They call that the DRCC property. I had Councilmember John Steckler on the show a couple weeks ago, and we talked a lot about that. And he's got his ideas, and obviously everybody's got their ideas of what they want that to become. What would interest you? Being be your next door neighbor.
I mean, ideally, if it gives something to do with, there's a lot of talk about Boys and Girls Club. I'm a big fan of Boys and Girls Club. That's where I first played sports in Everett. I think that'd be fantastic. But at this point in time, I'm just got to the point where I really want them to do something, because there is a problem with homeless people going into that area and camping out. So I'd like to see something be developed there. And when I talk to the different city council members and the mayor, I'm like, you're not going to make everybody happy.
Right.
You just got to come up with something. We got to run with it. Yeah. It's just enough. Like, they've had several consultants that they've had on this project.
Yep.
So at what point in time do you just pick something and go with it?
You have to, and you have to accept the fact that you're not going to make everybody happy.
100%.
You are going to piss some people off, probably.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
But that's progress, and right now there's no progress. Interesting story. You know, I used to work at the city.
Yes.
And we had a interim city manager at one point named Bob Stowe. And Bob had been the city manager in the city of Mill Creek like 20 years before. But he was interim for just a few months. And I'll never forget, one of the things he said to me is, does the city still own that property? And I said, yeah. He says, I bought that property when I was city manager 20 years ago, and they haven't done anything with it. And this was 8 years ago. So now we're almost 30 years where something needs to be done.
Correct.
And I'm encouraged, at least by some of the talk that I hear at city council, but you're right, there just seems to be more consulting and processes and reviews and considerations and arguments and discussions. Somebody needs to make a decision. Let's do something.
And if you get it to where 50-60% of the people are happy with the decision, you did your job.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, it's very, very frustrating. They talked about, when we were involved with Little League heavily, they kept talking about putting another field or two beyond there, and nothing ever came about that. Right. Which is too bad, because honestly, Freedom Field, the Mill Creek Sports Park, what a great facility.
What a great facility. You expand that, and what a draw that would be.
Oh, no doubt about it. You could hold the tournaments for Little League tournaments. Like right now, I think the Mill Creek Little League All-Stars played tonight, the first game of All-Stars. It's at Phil Johnson's in Everett. And they can hold all three Little League tournaments at one time.
Right.
Mill Creek could have did that at one point in time. So hopefully something happens soon. Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about Little League too in a moment, but you said something about when I went and saw Marshawn Lynch in your new building, and we're in a 1,200 square foot sports memorabilia store, which is where you started. You had a 1,200, but you got way more than 1,200 square feet in that. Did you see it's a 15,000 square foot building?
Yes. So the retail store, that's a showroom, is 3,000 square feet. We have 3,000 square feet of offices above, and then the warehouse. So it's about 12,000 square feet out there with 31 foot ceilings in the warehouse. And it was great, the process. We used a local contractor, right in Mill Creek, and Brian Marishko, and he was great. He handled it all, because we had no idea what we were doing. He set us up with the architect, and long process. And all I keep thinking about, I've talked about people before, is thank God we got that done before COVID, when everybody stopped working and all this shit. Everything's twice as long to get stuff done. So yeah, really good process. Really happy with everything, the way everything worked out. The city's been, they were great to work with through the whole process.
Cool.
It's kind of odd that the whole it was a vacant lot, and what the requirements for the wetlands, we had to plant like 800 or 900 plants in the wetlands area and stuff, and it was like,
okay, seems like overkill, but
right.
Yeah, we did it. And
now they've got a.
we're maintaining it, and that's another thing.
Do you have to maintain that?
We maintain our property.
Oh, that's right.
And
we 2 acres.
We have it's about 3.5 acres total. We can only use 1 acre.
Okay, gotcha.
But like on our acre on our property, like we just got new bark in, and we have a guy landscape. Really, I would love to see Mill Creek get a little bit more aggressive on keeping the city and the streets upkept better, like it used to. Like it's really overgrown, and we had talked before about, like you said, you went on your walk and you could barely walk down the path because it's overgrown. Like that never happened like 20 years ago here in Mill Creek. So
yeah, there's definitely been a shift. I don't know. Is it focus? Is it employees? Is it council priorities? I'm not sure, but part of the charm of this town is that what you're talking about, right? That cleanliness and everything's well kept and well maintained. And,
yes.
And we do need to get back, put some more focus on that. And I think that, again, I'm encouraged by what I see at City Hall, and of course the chamber office is there, and I have occasion to interact with the city manager and council people on a pretty regular basis. So I'm encouraged with what I'm seeing and hearing from the groups and the individuals that, they're starting to kind of renew some focus. Yeah. They went through some tumultuous times in the city, and now that's behind, and hopefully come out of it.
That's all we can hope for. We can really hope, the new street sweepers coming soon, or maybe it's here.
It's here. I heard it's in town. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either, but I'm looking forward to that. Yep. And I just want to see it get back clean and neat. And
exactly.
Beautiful.
So I want to ask about your warehouse space that you mentioned. So Mill Creek Sports is a global business, right?
Yes.
And so you have to have a relatively, in comparison to the rest of the building, smaller showroom and a large warehouse because you're shipping everywhere.
Yes, yes. So we're probably 85% mail order shipping out versus 15% walking through our front doors. Maybe even closer to 90% shipping out, 10% walking in our doors. We ship on average 300 to 500 packages a day. And then during the holidays, that might bounce up to 600 to 800 packages a day.
Wow.
So we ship FedEx, UPS, USPS. We ship all over the world.
That's cool.
In the UK, a lot of boxing fans. We saw a lot of Tyson and all these things to the UK. And Australia might be basketball. Japan do a ton of baseball, especially since we've represented Ichiro Suzuki this is our 20th year with Ichiro exclusive.
Really?
So very excited about that. We're going to see a big bump in our business next year when he gets inducted to Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, that's going to be great.
We're very excited. The loyalty that guy has shown to us is second to none. I mean, there's three to four athletes that we owe a ton to for our success over the 30 plus years of business. Ken Griffey Jr., that was the first guy, and that actually is probably the reason I opened a store versus got a regular job. He came in town in '89. I was going to college. I got to know him. We started doing signings together, and I was taking out mail order, in different magazines. I'd run ads selling his autographed baseballs and cards and photos.
Okay.
Figured out that I could do that and make good money.
Yeah.
And so I ran with that. That kind of opened my eyes to.
So that was kind of your side hustle early on?
Yeah. So I didn't during high school and stuff, I would go do card shows at different malls or hotels, and I could make more than I could working at a burger joint or gas station or anything like that. So I was always doing that, and it was a hobby of mine. Just collected cards as a kid. And then maybe 1979 or so, I was the first time I set up at a show. I was 11 years old, buying and selling cards. Same year, started collecting autographs. I'd go to the games. We'd start getting autographs there. Then it branched into hotels, and I'd just hang around, get a lot of autographs for my own collection. Then maybe 16, 17, 18-year-old, all of a sudden, well, instead of getting a couple autographs for free, maybe I can pay these guys to sign 300.
Right.
And it worked, and just buy and sell and hustle.
Wow.
Yeah, I loved it.
That is so cool.
So those were the days we'd, like, being from Everett, there was 3 or 4 or 5 of us that collected, and our parents would take turns. They'd drop us off in Seattle. They may drop us off at, the Sheridan downtown Seattle. And we'd be like 12, 13, 14, and it'd be up to us to make our way to the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Back then, you could do that.
Yeah.
Now, if you did that, you'd probably get somebody to call the cops on you.
Yeah,
if you
for
drop
sure.
your kid off in Seattle.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
And then a different parent would pick us up after the game.
Wow.
So I did that a lot of summers, just collecting and
That's incredible.
love of sports.
It really is truly just this intrinsic passion in you that has driven you to build this business, and you just started at an early age and just followed the dream.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
It's freaking incredible.
It's pretty fun, and it allows me a lot of. Now I'm at the point where I get to travel, get to do everything I want to do, but I can still own the business. I still am involved, but I can actually take a step away. Where the first 10 years, I was working 6-7 days a week at the store. You grind. Yeah, you're there late. My kids, I missed some of their first. Matt wasn't home for dinner every night. Just one of those things you had to do. And but yeah, no, I wouldn't change anything. It's great. Very lucky. Incredible. Very fortunate. Love it. Love the location we're at now. We've had to upgrade some, little things since we thought we were all done with the building.
Then you've had to add some security measures and some traffic control things.
Traffic control, all of a sudden people rip through the parking lot to try to cut the light off. Yeah. So you have to add in a couple speed bumps. No big deal. Okay. Then you get rocks, people breaking in your windows, breaking into your store. They attempted 3 or 4 times. One time they got in. And I'll tell you, there's nothing worse as a business owner to be woken up at 3 in the morning and have to go down to your store, replace a business, and broken glass in your store. Just total invasion. So
100%.
That led to a couple of years ago, we had steel shutters put over every window on the ground floor. And, it was expensive. It's $93,000 to do that. But I tell you what, I sleep, me and my wife and Brent, my manager who does everything, we sleep better at night. Yeah. So then we had to go another step, and we added gates at night because we'd have people like park in our parking lot, and they'd be like, a couple times we look out there and there's a fire in our parking lot, and the guys they're like smoking whatever crack or whatever they're doing, and it's nonstop. It is like nonstop. So now we have gates there. So
I don't think
last year it's getting good. Knock on wood.
And your LED lights look awesome. You change the lights for the season, or change the lights for a team.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I guess some of the neighbors aren't real happy about those across the street, but I'm sorry.
Yeah. They're cool.
They're not really bright.
They're not very bright.
Hey, we just anything for our local teams, and
So back up a little bit. How did you meet Ken Griffey Jr.?
I went to spring training, and it was 1989, so before he made the team, and I went down. I was just down there, loaded up a bunch of stuff, and I brought with me maybe 300 cards for him to sign. Cards, photos, baseball. Just met him after the game. I went to the Mariners spring training. I said, hey, you got time tonight or tomorrow night? Sign 300 things, I'll pay you. I think it was $600, $2 an item.
Wow.
And went over to his hotel that night. He knocked it out. He was talking, nice as can be. All of a sudden, 2 weeks later, he makes the team.
Yeah.
We had sold everything that we had brought back. He makes the team. Everything goes crazy. First week he's up here in Seattle, we do 1,000 things. And then he starts, prices go up and up over the time, and the demand, it was just a boom. He ended up with, he even had his own candy bar that year. It was just
nuts because
Yeah,
we
right.
hadn't had a superstar in Seattle.
No,
up
not
to
at all.
that. Alvin Davis was a good player, but he didn't.
Not-
right? This
not
guy,
on
this
that
guy
level.
had the charisma,
Yeah.
just the coolest thing, and it just blew up. And we just had a good relationship, and it has grown. And there's times where we'll go do a signing with him, and we'll meet in Vegas, and we'll go play cards for a while. I just got back last month. We went to Florida to do a signing with him, and we were lucky enough. The next morning we did signings the night before till I think we were done about 2 in the morning.
Wow.
He calls us 7 a.m. says, I'll be there in 20 minutes, pick you guys up, we're going golfing. So he ends up taking us to the Grove 23, which is Michael Jordan's course.
Oh, wow.
He's a member there. There's only 70, 80 members,
Wow.
invitation only. So me and Brent going golfing with Griffey at Michael Jordan's place.
That's
Big
incredible.
Gates. Pull up, go into the clubhouse, changing our shoes out. 'Cause we brought our golf shoes. We rented clubs there, but go out there, getting ready. We're getting our cart. Michael Jordan's teeing off first hole.
Right in front of you.
Right in front of us. Yeah, he's playing with Dwight Freeney, the ex-Colt and Seahawk.
Oh, yeah?
And it was pretty cool.
That
It was
is really cool.
And I had met Jordan, getting autographs a few times and stuff, and he was always cool, but that was really early in his career. And but yeah, no, it was fun. I just petrified that I didn't embarrass myself.
Right,
out there.
exactly. Go out and shake your drive shot.
Yeah, so we hung out. We did fine. I'm a bogey golfer. I'm not good. I'm a fair weather. I only like to play in the nice weather now.
And at a really nice course in Florida too, right?
That doesn't hurt.
That adds.
So
that's really
great
cool.
time. Yeah, great time. Got all our business done, and we had fun, and had a couple meals with him, and
how cool.
good catching up with him. And then it sounds like he'll be back up in Seattle in August. So I'm hoping he has not been to my new facility yet. Hoping to get him there. I got a bunch of stuff I need to get done that didn't get here in time for Florida. So that's what we're hoping for.
Wow, that's going to be very cool.
Yeah.
So you're a golfer, and you're heavily involved with athletes and sports, but you also coached a little league team, didn't you?
Yeah.
Tell me about that little league team that you coached.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to coach the 2008 Mill Creek Little League 12-year-old All-Star team, who won districts, won state, went down to San Bernardino. We won there, got to play on TV. Down there with Northwest Regional, I think we outscored our opponents 80-8.
Wow.
So we had just cleaned up everywhere, and winning that, all of a sudden, you got a ticket to the Little League World Series.
Wow. There we go.
And it was quite an experience. Really fun. I'd like to go back and kind of just enjoy it and without the stress. And
sure.
It was kind of different back there. Everything, when you get back to the Little League World Series, it's great and all, but you're on their schedule.
Right.
You wear what they tell you to wear. Normally our pregame before our first game, we'd always have an hour and a half lead up. We'd go through the same routine. Not there. The first game is like, an hour before the game starts, they're having us film a segment about our uncles that were there kind of chaperoning us. They had done it for 30 or 40 years. And, and I'm just sitting here going, we need to go BP. We got a game coming up.
Play.
Yeah. And so we'd run. And so this was a special group of kids. We'd won, as 11-year-olds, we'd won state the year before. So this group of kids, and then even my Little League team, so my team, my Mill Creek team, my regular season team, they went 38-0 that year.
Wow.
So we had like a 75-game winning streak going into the Little League World Series.
Wow.
First game, back then they didn't have you couldn't really do any kind of scouting reports or anything. So we were playing Louisiana first game. And they have this kid pitching, and he throws a pitch or two. I'm like, oh, that's hard.
Yeah. This is next level.
Yeah, I go look at all of a sudden, 80, 81, 82. And it's from 46 feet. So you're talking about
107 to 110 on, you know, MLB standards.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, we're in trouble. We're not, you know, never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
And to be honest, there's not, I think this year might have been the first kid that's thrown like 80, 81 in the 15 years since we were there.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, just a freaky kid. A kid just developed earlier. He wasn't an overly big kid. Funny thing was, the kid never ended up being a pitcher in like high school or college or anything. He was a fully developed arm-wise at 12, 13 years old.
Right.
So we did great. We ended up, we lost in the U.S. semifinals to Hawaii, who won it all. And
well, if you're going to lose, you want to lose to the eventual winner. Yeah.
Yeah, and the weird thing was that team, we watched them. They were in San Bernardino with us at the same time. They were in the West Regional. And I'd watched them win a game, and they had got, the other team no-hit them. They won 4-0, and they won on errors and walks. I mean, so they were just a team that was destined. The Louisiana team actually had more talent. They actually had a kid that was Mr. Irrelevant in football draft. He was a wide receiver. He played at LSU, and he's still actually playing in like the UFL I saw a couple weeks ago.
Oh, is that right?
So they were the Louisiana team definitely had a talent, yeah. But Hawaii won it. So that just tells you, not always talent.
How many championships at any level are won by the team that are just destined to win? You know, because you see a lot. You see a lot of teams that
versus
weren't
pure
the best
all the time, especially baseball. Baseball is more than any other sport.
Absolutely.
I mean, basketball, usually talent takes over.
Talent tells a story.
Baseball, you get pitchers on a roll, but yeah, definitely different.
Yeah. How cool.
So very cool, very lucky that way, and so my son won 2 state titles. Ends up transfers to Archbishop Murphy his sophomore year. So by transferring, you have to play JV for that year.
Okay.
Next year for Archbishop Murphy, they win the state title.
Right on.
So it's like very, very blessed. He got to play on a lot of great teams, a great Mill Creek connection, and I don't know, I couldn't trade it for the world, And now the whole full circle, he now does so much for our business, and he's striving. He does all the internet stuff. He does the listings and photography. He's fantastic at all that stuff. He's been working. He landed us Costco, so we're on Costco.com. So you'll see different, memorabilia, different, pieces of ours on there.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been really cool. And then I also got a daughter that's 2 years older. She's 31. Another full circle kind of thing was, we moved here into Mill Creek just because of the school system. She went to Cedarwood Elementary School.
Okay.
And now she teaches there.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Full circle, Mill Creek.
What grade does she teach?
First grade.
First grade. How cool.
Very cool. So it's been, we love it. And I think she would love to move back to the Mill Creek area. They're up in Marysville. Our son's really close here to Tap, probably 3-4 minutes away from here.
Cool.
So,
we'll get him down here then.
Yes, for sure.
How long has he been working for you now?
About 6 years.
Okay.
Right after, he's 29 now, so right after, college and everything. He went to PLU. Was all conference his freshman year, pitcher. Everything's looking great. Played in the West Coast League for Corvallis. Last start of the summer, everything's mowing down, doing great, and all of a sudden he popped his arm. Had Tommy John surgery, went through that whole process. It didn't take, and they're like, yeah, you have to do it again. And he's like, I can't do it. I'm done. And we went to the Mariners doctor and the Seahawks doctor, Dr. Calfian. We went, tried to do the best. It just didn't work out. So he had that kind of taken away from him. We feel bad. I mean, you want to finally get to that point. It's a pyramid. You're going to get kicked off at some point in time, but you hope it's because you aren't good enough or you've gone as far as you can.
Right.
But not the injury.
An injury is devastating.
Yes.
Because you're especially when everything is going your way. right?
Yeah.
You're everything's going your way.
Yeah, and that was tough for him. He battled through that. I think he had some depression, some tough times through college, which we all understand. And but he's doing great.
And that's something that'll never go away for him. But we just, as time passes and we process the grief and the loss, it's just like any other kind of loss, right? Yeah. And we get to a point where that loss will never go away. But I've managed the stages of grief. I've worked my way through it.
Yeah.
It's something that now that I can look back on and be super proud of.
Oh, definitely.
Tremendous memories, and just, being at the top at so many different levels.
Yeah.
But then having to come to work in the family business is cool.
Yeah, and I really, really hope that Derek and Brent and the other workers, Garen, Brent's brother, I hope at some point in the next 5 years or so we can kind of get an exit strategy for me to completely leave, and they can just buy me out over time.
Yeah.
That would be ideal, because I would love to see us there for another 30 plus years.
Absolutely.
I mean,
there's no reason not to. With the business that you've built, the infrastructure that you have in place, this beautiful building, how is 7 years old?
7 years old.
It's got 30 years of life left in it.
I hope so, man.
Yeah.
I would really hope so. And the area's growing so much.
And you can come down and live in Cabo by me when I move.
Yeah, definitely have going somewhere warm for half the year soon.
Yeah.
Definitely like Cabo, Arizona. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's kind of my old lady, my wife, she has a lot to say in this thing, especially now since we're grandparents. We have almost a two-year-old granddaughter, our daughter Nicole has. And but I kind of tell her, it's great now. They always see her all the time and stuff. But when they get 8, 9, 10, 11, they're going to be wanting to be with their friends, not with their grandma and grandpa. So
and when they do, I've got 3 granddaughters. I get that.
Yeah, you come home for birthdays or whatever it is. Yeah,
but then you make the time just super quality.
Yeah, you just talk on the there's FaceTime, or you can sit there and video chat, whatever.
I mean, right now my daughter, who is 18, she'll be 19, she's the last one, from upstairs will FaceTime her mom downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, come on.
That's just the gender. That's how it is.
That's how it is. So, we FaceTime our grandkids. It's all going to be fine.
I mean, I think like our kids and stuff, they do a lot of like Uber Eats and stuff. Mm-hmm. Me and my wife, we'll go hit the drive-through, or we'll go out and sit in a restaurant. Yeah. But that's just how it is now. It's completely
same
different.
thing. She comes running downstairs, opens the door. It's because her dinner has been delivered. Like, you can eat what we're eating.
Yeah. No, it's just how it is.
I want to do. Okay, cool. Yeah. Kids and grandkids are awesome. Finding a place to live in the sunshine is going to be awesome.
Yes.
Getting to that point in your life where you can just do all the things that you like to do and enjoy doing, and not have to worry about the business, even though you're not there all day every day, and you're not putting in those long hours. It's still a responsibility. It's still always on your mind. It's still part of your every single day. So when you get to that point and you've earned it and you deserve it, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I get that all the time. People ask me all the time, when are you going to retire? When are you going to retire? It's fun. I'm having a great time. We're very lucky. We get to do everything that we want to do anyway. So why wouldn't I keep doing it? Like, especially you have to keep active. Like,
you bet.
My dad's last 10 plus years of his life was not good quality life. No. He sat at home and sat on the computer or sat on watching TV.
Right.
It's just no way to live a life. And I saw him deteriorate mentally and physically because of that.
Yeah, and it's the truth. We have to keep our mind and body moving.
100%.
Because as soon as we stop moving our mind and body, then they give up on us.
Yeah.
Right. And our body keeps score. All right. And they're paying attention. And if we don't keep it just mind and body. Do something, think about something, create something, go someplace, do something, exercise your mind and body, and that's what will keep us going.
Yeah. And
now, one of the things I know you like to do is go see live music.
Yes.
So tell me, you just went and saw some live music here yesterday?
We went yesterday. We went to the Totally Tubular Festival in Carnation. It's 8 80s bands. It was
awesome.
It was Thomas Dolby. It was
wow.
The Tubes, Bow Wow Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, a lot of, it was just strange, modern English, Tommy Two-Tone.
Wow.
Like he only has like the one song, so he sang 2 or 3, but the one Jenny song's a big one. And Thompson Twins, that was our favorite. So yeah, just good time. It's a bunch of people our age that love the 80s music and want to have a good time.
Yeah.
Sometimes, some of us had maybe it's too good of a time, but it was a blast.
That's a concert,
it was
right?
A blast.
That's
yeah,
a
we had a
music
great
festival,
time.
so.
And our next show, like midlife crisis for myself and my wife, is country music. All of a sudden, we fell in love with like going to country shows. Next one we have is Kenny Chesney.
Yeah, right.
Which didn't turn out to be a great date because it's the same day as Mill Creek Festival, but we bought our tickets 6 months ago.
I won't be there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just killing me. Last year for the Kenny concert, we took our boat down to Seattle, and we stayed in Bell Harbor Marina for a few days before and then a few days after. And that party in the marina was just off the hook.
Everybody's having a good time, right?
Gosh,
it's just people that like to have fun.
Yeah. And so you're gonna come down to Everett when we start the concerts down there. I think July 11th is the first one coming up.
I'd rather hang out with you on your boat and drink beers there than stand in line for an hour up close.
It is. It is elbow to elbow, tight space on long lines. No, we got cold beer in the refrigerator, a little grill on the back with, I don't know, we got shrimp. We have some crab by then.
Yeah,
that's how we'll do it. We've gone and seen some music a couple different places together. Out at Tulalip, been out to Tulalip a couple times. But we got the Mill Creek concert series is going to be going on all summer long.
Yeah.
That first one is coming up July 10th, and every Wednesday we've got some cool bands. August 14th is the night I'm hosting the kind of the VIP area because it's a band called Hair Nation.
Yeah,
and you've seen Hair Nation
several times.
Yes,
indeed. They're fun.
Oh man, they're
same thing. All 80s rock music and great time. Yeah, the lineup this year is great. Spike and the Impaler.
Spike and the Impaler is going to be cool.
Wow, that's a big get. And back to the Mill Creek Festival. I'm bummed because you guys have Atomic Punks there on Saturday.
No, Atomic Punks are at the Lime Saturday.
Oh, well, you might want to check. You might want to check their thing because it also says Mill Creek Festival.
Really? Because we had them last year.
Did you talk to them about this year? Go check the Atomic Punks on Facebook.
I might have to find out because we have to bump somebody to get those guys in there.
Really?
Well, I mean,
I just checked because they're playing Sunday night in Tulalip. I'm going to go to that.
Oh, see, I saw
Saturday. It said something about Mill Creek Town. They're doing both. In Lime's listed Saturday night.
Okay. Well, then I need to check on that. They may have had an adjustment. That would be awesome.
Or, I don't know. Or they just made a mistake, but they look like they had it penciled in.
I'm going to look into that. We work with a music producer, a concert producer, Craig, and he schedules all of our bands. And every once in a while, we have to make some changes. And so maybe we made a change. I don't know about it. And that would be a good change if we had to. Yeah, those guys are great.
Fantastic.
They were awesome last year. Cool. Love going and seeing rock music in bands of all kinds. I'm bummed about the Kenny concert. I'm told my wife we're going to have to fly somewhere. I don't care, somewhere else he's playing on some time, and let's just go there and just do it that way.
We would do that too. We'd see him again. It's such a good time.
Yeah.
People are just, it's the sandbar, the pit and stuff.
Well, I've got satellite radio, and so I got the No Shoes radio station that I listen to all the time. To the point where my wife's like, "Can we listen to something else?
Mix it up."
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah.
So then I turn it over to the classic rewind station, which is all 80s music. So
good.
Yeah, that's how we live, man. That's one of the things that Kenny always says is, "Who lives like we do? We do."
I know.
And I got that on my boat, right? Who lives like we do? We do, because we're living large.
You got to enjoy it when you can.
You do. Absolutely.
I mean, life is short. Like, it's a blink of an eye. When I opened up my store, I was 23, and now I'm 56. I mean.
Oh, here's the 56.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Cheers.
My wife will be 56 here in a couple of weeks. So
oh, good.
Yeah. She always tells me you'll always be older than me, but whatever.
I'm the opposite. My wife's 6 days older, and I torture the shit out of her. Okay. And I love it.
Yeah.
So
that's why she does it to me. She loves it.
Yeah. Makes
Exactly.
Well, man, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's good to just hearing your story about Ken Griffey Jr. or going down at when you're 12 years old and walking the streets of Seattle from hotel to hotel to the Kingdom.
Yeah.
My goodness.
It was just different times, and it was very unique, and I got to develop a skill set where I got to know autographs very well.
Yeah.
So we'd go to different shows, and Mickey Mantle would sign there. We'd do 50 pieces or 100, whatever I could afford back then. And I got to know the ins and outs of what's real on his autograph, all these different players, and I can buy a lot of unauthenticated autographs and then get them authenticated, and I can make a good margin by doing that. And it's been fun. Just turn a passion and a hobby into a living. So
not just a living, a super successful worldwide business.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's awesome.
Very blessed. I've got I don't know, half a dozen or so of your items, and I'm one of the 10% walk-in because I can walk to your store from my house.
Yes.
And now I've got one in my garage, which is on a shelf in the garage right now, protected very well. It's taken care of, but it's going to stay there until Russell Wilson comes back and signs his one-day contract with Seattle and retires as a Seahawk, and then I'll pull it back out.
I mean, I've never seen a guy go from being
hero
more
to GOAT overnight,
loved than hated. And again, we were exclusive with him for I think 9 years, and then it's weird how the world works out. So we were with him. He's one of the 3 or 4 athletes that I owe a tremendous amount to the success of our business. Yeah. When they won the Super Bowl, we had a record-breaking year because we had Marshawn Lynch at the time. We had Russell exclusive, but and this is probably why everybody hates him. He got real big, and he was all about saying the cheesiest lines and being out everywhere. He was just always wanting to be seen dressed up with Sierra's new wife, and we had lost him. He dumped us after 9 years, which we did everything for this guy, like charity work we'd do for him. There would be times where we would find out 8 o'clock the night before that we needed to be set up with all our stuff at 6 in the morning the next morning. We'd have to find a hotel room, a banquet room, get down there. So we'd have to be up till 1 in the morning, do it.
Oh, goodness.
Just to make him happy. We would bend over backwards for the guy, and then he dumped us. We lost him to Fanatics. And just how the world works out ended up being a blessing in disguise because he was gone, traded.
Right.
And then the amount of hate the guy has received now, which still I don't really get, to the degree that he is.
I don't either.
I mean, he's the greatest Seahawk of all time.
Right.
Let's be honest.
You can't argue with that.
I mean, Bobby Wagner maybe he's 1, maybe Russell's 2, but they're 1A, 1B. They're right there. It's only Super Bowl we've ever won.
Right.
The guy was a 3rd-round draft pick. We should love him, and I think it'll come back to where he is beloved.
I do too, and which is why I'm keeping my framed photo. But I get too much crap if I left it, even from my own wife. Right? You got to take that thing down.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So it's cool. I know you have an agreement with, you work with Tyler Lockett a lot.
Yes.
And my son's a big Lockett guy. So in his bedroom, now he's 22 now and he's moved on.
Yeah.
But he still has his bedroom with Lockett shoes and Lockett helmet and Lockett photo.
Nice guy. Incredible guy. Nothing but great things about Tyler Lockett. His work ethic and just a sincere person he is. He is that nice. Yeah. I can tell you the background.
It's legit. What you see is what you get.
100%. Yeah. No doubt about it.
As opposed to the other guy we were just talking about was fake.
Yeah, he was fake, yeah. And he reminded me of a lot of Alex Rodriguez was that way too. When I was dealing with him through the 90s and 2000s, he was just, pretty phony. Yeah.
A funny little autograph story. So my boys and I went to a Tacoma Rainiers game when Felix Hernandez was playing for Tacoma before he got called up. And it was full-size Louisville Slugger bat giveaway night. So both my boys got full-size Louisville Sluggers, which is the coolest thing. You can't do that anymore either. And some of the players who weren't playing were out signing autographs, and he was one of them.
Yeah.
And so we'd heard about Felix Hernandez.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know, sounds like he's going to be a good
big
ball
prospect.
player, but you know, he's still in AAA. So my boys both get their bats signed by Felix Hernandez, and they're stupid, you know, 8 and 12-year-old boys.
Yeah.
And so over the next, you know, 6 months, they play, you know, hit rocks with them, and pretty soon they whittled them down to just like little wooden toothpicks because they play in the street with them all the time. And then you idiots, you could have had a full-size Louisville Slugger, Felix Hernandez autograph, but boys are done.
That's okay. I mean, that happens.
Yeah. My theory on boys is one boy by himself has a full and complete brain, but if you put 2 boys together, then between the 2 of them, they only have half a brain.
That's a good point. That's
and then
true.
I think every boy you add, it just lowers that. So
definitely.
Yeah. So, man, this is awesome. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Thanks for the beer. Thanks for the cool stories.
Thanks, brother.
And thanks for all you do for the community.
Oh.
You know what? We spent too much time talking about some cool stuff, but can I tell you, this is Mill Creek Nobility, and who's also one of the most generous people who supports everything that goes on in town. And he's very humble about it too. But going back to being a baseball coach, that was something that you did because you loved it, but it's also because you wanted to give back to your community and supporting the festival events and the town center events and your support of the Boys and Girls Club and your donations. You know, we've talked before about you're willing to support things financially as long as they really do give back to the community.
Yeah, 100%.
It's got to have value.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk about that. And
we
it's
love,
so important.
We absolutely love the direction that the chamber has gone, and you know, we'll be involved with the golf tournament. That's going to benefit lots of scholarships
and all the kids.
Yeah, I mean that's. We're really big into Rotary now, and we just had the Rotary auction, and you know they raised 150,000 at the auction, all going to great causes, and it's awesome. We're at the point now where I can spend time to go do those. I still am not. It's probably active, like taking like onto like different committees and different things like that, but I can help in other ways, like financial.
Right.
And that's kind of what I get out of it, and you know, I know like a lot of the chamber and stuff, people are there to like networking with other businesses. Well, I have a really unique niche business. I don't really appeal to 90%. I'm looking, you know, I appeal to 10, 20% of the people. And I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for the causes.
Exactly.
So,
and that's what we talk about. That, you know, there's 2 things at the chamber that we really put a lot of focus on, right? And that's the commerce side of it, and build your business and support your business. And but equally as important is what we do for the community, right? Support our scholarship programs, support kids programs, give back to the community, host the festival. The festival is a lot of work.
Tons.
But the joy and fun that people in our community get out of it makes it all worthwhile. You know, and we support scholarship programs with proceeds from that. But really, all we want to do is break even and let everybody have a good time.
Oh, the amount of people it brings from outside that
so cool
find out about our community.
So cool.
They find out about the restaurants. That's what we always like. When we were like next to Azteca and like different businesses in there didn't really embrace when we do signings. Like, give them coupons.
You bet.
Go through their handout coupons. Do whatever you want. Get them to come have dinner before or after. Like,
you bet.
Something. And I never understood that.
Yeah,
you know,
here's
we're
your
bringing
15% off to Azteca. Come on in.
Yeah, we're bringing people that, you know, might be the first time they've ever been here. And we get a lot of newbies for those different signings, and definitely
that's
run with it. Yeah, so that's why I love you know the festival in Mill Creek, and it's been growing and growing, and you know we'll be there. We'll be there Friday night at the opening dinner, and then Sunday we'll be there. And
cool.
Beer gardens.
Cool.
Listen to music.
And then in the meantime, while you're down at Kenny, tell him I said hi.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I miss you.
All right. Thanks again.
All right, brother.
Appreciate it very much. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon. Cheers, and love y'all.